That's why I sent her the Treasury a letter when I heard they printed up $100 bills for a penny. And I sent them a letter and sent them $1 and asked them to send me $100 bills. And they wrote back and said, you didn't send enough money.
It's 2.3 cents.
Yeah, it's 2.3 cents now. And they also told me exactly what they said. Now, the Fed just don't get to do that. They have to put up collateral. And they named all the collateral. And that's all in the book back there, Tales from the Treasury. I'm going to take the time now. And so I gathered up that kind of collateral, and I sent it to the Treasury with a check for $412. And then I wanted $20,100 bills, or whatever the figure was. And they wrote back and said, sorry, we're not authorized to issue currency directly to people. We can only give it to the banking system. And you can't get it to the banking system until you go borrow some money and then take your checkbook money in and say, here, write a check on cash, and they'll destroy the checkbook money and I can take the cash home. I haven't changed the money supply at all, whether I had the checkbook money or whether I had the cash in my hand. And it's still owed. It's still a debt. In fact, on the bills before, and all those bills are shown in the book back there, how we switched from actually evidence of wealth and our money to evidence of indebtedness owed to the banking system. The actual bills, every step. And I had a bill that said, we'll pay to the bearer on demand X number of dollars from the Federal Reserve Bank in Minneapolis. So I sent him a letter and said, here's the bill. It says you owe me, so please pay me. And I don't want to get in any argument with you what a dollar is, so when you send me the payment, send me along the statutory definition of the word dollar. They just sent it back. They never even sent me a letter, not anything. But one guy did call me down to the Fed, and he said, I just don't understand what you're doing, what you want. Well, I said, I just want to get paid on your promise to pay, that's all. Oh my God, he said, I think you better talk to my lawyer. I said, I'm glad to do that. So he connected me up. I got a woman on the phone, and of course she hadn't had the benefit of reading the letter, so I had to explain it to her, and all of a sudden she saw it, she screamed just like I'd stuck her with a knife and slammed the phone down. So I have a friend that has a $500 gold note that says redeemable in dollars of gold. So I talked him into doing it so he could up the ante, see, and he said, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to lose my $500 bill. This is kind of rare. I said, I guarantee you they'll send it back. So we finally did, and he sent it, and this time they did write us a letter and said, we used to use gold, but we don't anymore, and we don't have to. I think that's true. But I said, that still didn't solve the problem. You still owe me. You haven't paid me. So we thought a while, and we sued him. And we took it down to small claims court, because I knew I was going to lose, so I didn't want to get a lot of money in it, so I just sued him. Besides, I was only asking for $520 plus damages to take my time to go down there and try to collect on the bills that the debts they won't pay me. And we got there, and of course the judge had never read it, so he didn't know what to do, so we asked, and he got into it, and he said, my God, I don't understand. He turned to the Federal attorney, and a nice young lady said, well, what he said, everything he said is true. He sent it to us, and we sent it back, but we don't have to pay him, because when they made the notes legal tender, they became the payment of the obligation they represent.
Oh my God.
And when I asked them about the definition of dollar, they said there is none. Now, if you write and work hard enough, I have got a letter to the Treasury that says the definition of a dollar is a dime is a tenth of a dollar, a mill is a penny is a hundredth of a dollar, and a mill is a thousandth of a dollar. Now, can you tell me that describes anything? And if we're ever going to solve this, we have to create our own money. And the two biggest misdeceptions and lies that's put out there is gold is real money, and increasing the money supply causes inflation. Now, that's true up to a point, because obviously increasing anything is inflationary. How else do you get a tire to so you can run on it? You blow it up, don't you? You increase air pressure, you inflate it. So that obviously is true. Money creates inflation if you increase more of it. But that kind of inflation is really good. But the price inflation of an increase comes from an increase of credit, where your debt goes up and your interest bill goes up. And in this flyer, I also, in the back there, I want you to get a copy of the law. I'm not going to go in it. This is the actual law that was introduced in the state of Minnesota this year. It still has a chance to have a hearing in the next session. This is a flow chart that shows exactly how it should work. I got my phone number, and you can call me. We can be all the time you want. This also shows you, and I took this statement right here down to the president of the Minnesota Senate, who happened to be a banker. And I said, you know, I'd like to get a loan from you. He got kind of embarrassed. I just hit him in the elevator, and the woman there, she got real nervous. And so I said, well, I really don't want to get a loan. I just want to give you my financial statement and see if you give me a loan. Well, I said, well, I'd sure be glad to do that. So I said, well, here, my total worth is $38,000. My total unfunded obligations was, at that time, $53,000. My unfunded obligation that I need the money for is $54,000. And my cash on hand is $7.7 thousand. He said, man, you're already broke. What are you trying to get a loan for? And I said, well, if you take that chart and take those figures and change them from thousands to trillions, that's the financial statement of the United States of America. And this came from a speech by David Walker, Comptroller General of the United States at that time. Now he's retired, he quit, in Minneapolis.
Wow.
And then the actual figure of the total money supply came off the Federal Reserve Bank of New York's website. And unfunded obligations came from Walker, and the total debt figures come from a chart that I really love on the internet called Grandfather's Economic Report. One of the best things I've ever seen. He won't address why it's bad, but he'll sure tell you how bad it is. He'll give you all the figures and all the sources. And we have, if you're going to solve this any way, shape, or form, if you don't take away their power to create all the money and you have to constantly be in debt to fight them to them, you're never going to have any success. If you do those things, and those tools are right now available and in state actions right now. And I have never been so pleased. I would have driven 3 times this far to speak to some state legislators from other states. All we need is a few men with some guts, some balls, and some courage, and we'll get this job done. With that, I thank you so much for your time. Oh, one last thing. I did have to pick up the paper today. I just could not pass this up. Now remember, the banks had a terrible loss. Citigroup, Merrill Lynch, which is now owned by Bank of America, received combined bailouts of $55 billion, and they had a loss of $54 billion. So they gained $1 billion there, when they couldn't possibly have a loss because they never loaned anything but a promise to pay. The only way they could have a loss is because they got some little rule there that says they have to write off losses that they don't have. But they paid out bonuses of $9 million, pardon me, $9 billion. Meanwhile, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and J.P. Morgan Chase shelled out more in 2008 bonuses than they earned in income.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Good for you. I'd like to add one thing to what Byron said. There are 2 things that declare a person or a nation's sovereignty: the power of the purse and the power of the sword. And we have got to focus on those 2 things.
I want to add one last thing, because Don made me think about it and I forgot it. You're only bankrupt when you can't borrow anymore. That's why the federal government is not bankrupt in the state of Minnesota, or California is.
Not anymore.
They can't borrow anymore, can they? The state of California? Why did they start issuing promissory notes, for payment? Besides, that's what we do anyway. That's all we use for money. But see, the federal government can still borrow.
Wait till October 1st.
Well, that may be, but I guarantee you,
60 days.
there is no limit to the money the banking system can create when they want to.
That's right.